read the Bible from the past tense of the cross, and you don't go back before.
For decades, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a beacon of faith and power, a man whose voice has inspired millions around the world. His sermons were more than words. They were lifelines for people navigating hardship and doubt. But in recent years, whispers began to spread, suggesting that even this towering figure of strength might be facing a silent battle of his own. His followers, who saw him as a father figure and spiritual rock, began to notice changes. Small at first, then harder to ignore. What followed wasn't just gossip. It was a wave of concern, love, and fear from people who believed that the man who had carried them for years might now need their prayers in return. The rumors that wouldn't stay quiet, the first signs of change in Bishop T.D. Jakes were so subtle that many overlooked them. A softer tone, slower steps, and brief pauses that hadn't been there before. Over time, however, followers began to notice that something seemed off. By 2022 and 2023, his absences from key events became harder to ignore. Loyal supporters who had followed him for decades began to fear that their beloved pastor was dealing with serious health issues. Social media quickly caught fire with speculation as people searched for answers the church wouldn't give. With no official statements from Jakes or his family, the mystery deepened. Every missed sermon and every quiet moment was interpreted as a clue. What had started as whispers among a few soon became a wave of worry felt across continents. For a man who had always been the voice of strength, even a small silence now spoke volumes. A legacy too big to fade. Bishop Jakes isn't just a preacher. He's a movement in himself. His church, the Potter's House, has grown into a global phenomenon, drawing believers from every corner of the world. His books inspire millions, his conferences fill arenas, and his words have comforted countless souls in despair. So when rumors about his health began spreading, they carried more emotional weight than typical celebrity gossip. To his followers, Jakes is a symbol of endurance, a man whose voice has guided them through heartbreak, loss, and doubt. Seeing him appear tired or absent felt deeply personal, as if their own spiritual strength was being tested. His influence stretches far beyond the pulpit. It lives in the hearts of people who saw him as a living example of faith and resilience. That's why whispers about his decline didn't just feel like rumors. They felt like cracks forming in something sacred and unshakable. The growing wave of concern. As Bishop Jakes appeared less frequently, fans became digital detectives, analyzing every recent video and comparing it to his earlier sermons. They studied his movements, his breathing, and even the light in his eyes. Soon, blogs and media outlets began reporting on his possible health issues, turning speculation into global headlines. The lack of official communication only added to the tension. People began to fear the worst, not because they wanted drama, but because they cared deeply about the man who had carried so many of them through hardship. The silence from his team and family made the mystery even more gripping. Some felt anxious, others prayed. Jakes' absence from his powerful presence on stage, once the highlight of every week, created a spiritual void. The world had come to know him as unshakable, so his quietness felt louder than any sermon, leaving millions to wonder what was truly happening behind the curtain. The family's silence and the world's desperation for truth. The absence of clarity from Bishop Jakes' family fueled public desperation. They neither confirmed nor denied the swirling rumors, leaving a blank space for the internet to fill with wild theories. Supporters, who saw Jakes as more than just a religious leader, began to take the rumors personally. For many, he was the foundation of their spiritual identity, the voice that had carried them through grief and uncertainty. To imagine him unwell was like watching a pillar of faith begin to shake. Still, Jakes continued to appear on occasion, preaching with the same calm authority. Though his energy appeared more measured, his resilience offered comfort, yet fans could see that something had shifted. That combination of strength and visible vulnerability only deepened the emotional connection between him and his followers. They longed for the truth, not out of curiosity, but out of love, hoping to stand by him the way he had stood by them. When the truth finally emerged, when the silence broke, it wasn't through a public announcement, but through heartfelt words shared by Bishop Jakes' family. His daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, revealed that he had indeed been struggling with his health, not due to a sudden illness, but because of years of exhaustion and relentless ministry. The truth was far less dramatic than rumors suggested, but deeply human. Jakes had been pouring out his strength for decades, often ignoring his body's quiet pleas for rest. Behind every powerful sermon was a man battling fatigue, stress, and the physical weight of leadership. His family admitted they had urged him to slow down, but his dedication to serving his congregation kept him pushing forward. This revelation painted a portrait not of weakness, but of sacrifice. A man who gave so much of himself to others that his own body eventually demanded a pause. It was not scandal, but sincerity that finally surfaced. A season of healing and reflection. The family's message was one of hope, not despair. They clarified that this was not the end of Bishop Jakes' journey, but a divine pause, a time to restore what years of service had worn down. They described the season as one of healing and recalibration. For his followers, the news brought both relief and reflection. Many realized that even the strongest among them need time to rest. His openness about burnout and the physical cost of leadership resonated deeply within faith communities worldwide. The revelation shifted his image from an untouchable icon to a relatable man of God. His humility in stepping back to heal inspired pastors and believers alike to reconsider their own pace and priorities. In acknowledging his limits, Jakes once again taught his followers, not through preaching, but through example, that strength often lies in knowing when to pause and allow grace to restore the soul. A new generation steps forward. During Bishop Jakes' time of rest, his daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, stepped into a larger leadership role. Her voice brought a fresh, youthful energy to the Potter's house, appealing to a new generation while honoring her father's teachings. Her sermons were full of authenticity and emotional depth, resonating with audiences who had grown up under her father's guidance. Yet her rise stirred mixed emotions within the congregation. Many were inspired by her leadership, while others worried if anyone could truly fill Bishop Jakes' shoes. Still, her growing presence symbolized continuity, proof that his legacy was not ending but evolving. Meanwhile, the church adjusted its rhythm, introducing guest speakers and slightly shifting its style. Through it all, Bishop Jakes remained a guiding hand behind the scenes, mentoring his daughter and reminding everyone that leadership is not a title, but a responsibility passed on with faith and love. Faith, transparency, and the power of vulnerability. What made Bishop Jakes' story so powerful was how he faced the rumors, not with defensiveness, but with transparency. He and his family refused to hide behind polished press releases or scripted statements. Instead, they allowed truth to speak through honesty and humility. This openness reshaped public perception of what leadership means. It reminded people that spiritual leaders, no matter how strong, are still human beings who need rest and compassion. Rather than damaging his image, Bishop Jakes' honesty strengthened his influence, turning his struggle into a message of courage. His story sparked conversations about the emotional toll of ministry, the dangers of burnout, and the healing power of vulnerability. Around the world, pastors and leaders began to see that stepping back isn't failure. It's faith in action. Through his example, Jakes taught that transparency isn't weakness, it's the purest form of strength. A legacy redefined. Today, Bishop Jakes stands as a man who has redefined what strength and leadership truly mean. His journey through exhaustion and recovery has shown that greatness isn't about being untouchable, but about being honest, human, and faithful through every challenge. By embracing rest and allowing others to step forward, he has transformed his legacy from one of performance to one of purpose. His story now reaches beyond sermons. It lives in the quiet reminder that faith doesn't erase struggle, it gives it meaning. Whether Bishop Jakes returns to full-time ministry or continues mentoring from behind the scenes, his influence remains unshakable. His life has become a living sermon, a testimony of endurance, humility, and hope. In showing that even giants need grace, he has given the world one final, enduring lesson. True faith is not about never falling, but about finding the strength to rise again with peace in your heart.